Are you trying to kill me?
Hello and welcome to the Nordic Stitches YouTube podcast. This podcast is all about the yarny goodness, so if you're not a crafter, you might wanna find something else to watch. I am coming to you from central Norway. My name is Lilli, and on the screen you will find the place, you will see the places where you can find me. They will also be linked down below. I may not link to everything I talk about, but I will definitely do some kind of show notes down below as well. It's located beneath the title of the video and the thumbs, and yeah, if you see something that's not linked but it's information there, you can just copy it and paste it into Google. Today I have a little bit of admin corner for you, and every time I look down it's just because it's show notes and I really just, you know, want to make sure that I get everything out there because it's winter and my head is just not functioning as well as it does during summer because of chronic pain and fatigue. So to get everything right, I have a cheat sheet right here on my phone. First things first, new camera. Woo! I'm hoping the static sound in the background isn't too high for you. I am aware that it is there and it may affect some of you. I may or may not be sticking with this camera due to that. I haven't decided. Anyway, I am very much a fan of the camera. You will have seen the name right here on the screen. Just in case, you know, you're interested, I have really put it to the test in terms of recording and stuff like that in the Vlogtober series, which is ending and will be taken over by Vlogember. So if you want to see my adventures, you can check out my vlogs as well. I will be vlogging every day throughout the year. That being said, even though I may be vlogging every day in November, I may not make a video every day. So some days may be, some vlogs may be several days put into one video. The spooky Selbu mitten pattern was available for 50% off out October. More than 200 of you purchased that pattern. Thank you so very much. The knit along for that pattern will be closing just about the time when this video goes live, and I will be drawing a winner of some yarny goodness. That knit along went on in the Nordic Stitches Facebook group, which is a much bigger success than the Ravelry Group ever was. So thank you to every single one of you who has participated into making it such. The Etsy sale is done. I closed my Etsy shop. I decided to stop producing progress keepers and stitch markers. So thank you to everyone who purchased items from my shop. The camera is one of the things that that sale contributed to, so thank you. I can't afford to upgrade equipment and go on outings and stuff like that out of my own pocket. I really need an income for that, and that is what the Nordic Stitches business is all about. I also have a Patreon page where you can pledge a amount based on the pledge level that you are interested in, and you get extra content over there. The Christmas sock along is a knit along that will be going on in the Nordic Stitches Facebook group. I will, from November 9th and every other week up till Christmas, publish one new sock pattern, so not 4 clues and 1 pattern, 4 different sock patterns. And there will be a knit along for them on Facebook. I will probably upload an image into an album, and every time you finish 1 pair, you enter it into that album. And if you're interested, you just head on over to the Facebook group, and if you don't find it, we will of course help you out. The socks are secret until released. I have had a very good helper in Carolina, who is Sika Knits on Instagram, definitely worth checking out. I hired her to knit up my designs and take pictures of them so I could give you those patterns, just because I'm burnt out and didn't want my burnt out, what's the word? I didn't want my burning out be something that affected you, so I still wanted the pattern to reach you. And Carolina has helped me do just that. She's also helped me with another mitten pattern, which probably is released when you see this video, and I will pop a picture of them here because I haven't knit them. Again, I hired her to do so. They turned out so beautifully. These are the Nordic winter mittens, again based on our traditional Selbu mitten form, with the gusset and the steep decreases for the thumbs and the palms, and the Selbu rose is there. But at the same time, I wanted a pattern that you could easily knit red and white, or gray and red, and you know, green and white, and have them as Christmas mittens, because the original idea for this pattern was to have it as Christmas mittens. But I figured not everybody celebrates Christmas, and they might be, yeah, so I did a little change to them, and they are now winter mittens, so you should be able to knit them regardless of religion, belief, or holiday celebrations. I am so excited to see them knit up, and I am even more excited to see you knit them up, and they will be available in the Nordic Stitches Ravelry Group, nope, Ravelry store that is linked down below. I am realizing that this segment is quite long, but there's quite a bit to talk about today. In 2019, starting January 1st, we will be having in the Nordic Stitches Facebook group a year-long Nordic Stitches patterns knit along. These will be for the paid for patterns, not the free ones, just because I have to support shipping prices and stuff like that, and I can't do that if every, you know, 90% chooses to knit the free patterns. That's just the reality of it. Many of you have already started talking about what you want to knit, and I am so excited to see it all be knit up. So that will be kicking off in the Facebook group January 1st with a live cast on party. Yes, I will be doing my first probably live event then. I may or may not try it before then, depending on what's going on in my personal life behind the cameras. I may or may not have time to do so, but January 1st will happen on Facebook. And you can knit any of my paid for patterns throughout the year. There's no stress, no time limit. If you just knit one shawl, fine, just enter that one shawl. It's not a problem. So I won't be drawing drawing winners for prizes every month for that knit along, every other month or every third month. And yeah, I really hope to see you guys coming over there and share your Nordic Stitches designs knit up in your choices of yarns, because that is more than half of the fun of being a designer. So the first thing that I finished is my, is it fourth? Third or fourth Strictly Come Dancing knit along sock pattern. Sandra of Cherry Heart has designed this pattern. She designs knitting patterns, crochet patterns, podcasts, and sew project bags. And Sam of Betsy Makes dyed the yarn. It's a Strictly Come Dancing yarn, made specially. This is what I have left. This is her logo. This is Strictly Sock Fingering. It's a sparkly base, and it's called Limoncello. It was 400 meters and 100 grams. I have not weighed up the socks to see how much I've used, but I'm pretty sure that I can nail another pair with this. However, I'm just gonna put it aside, split it up, and have it for future swaps for minis. Loving this pattern. The sock blockers are from the one and only Patricia of P Fortune here on YouTube, also known as the Knitography channel. So yeah, I'm super happy about those. If you aren't familiar with Ali's knit along, Ali hosts the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, and she is for the second year running hosting a highly encouraged rule bending knit along for that TV show Strictly Come Dancing, which is, you know, Dancing with the Stars, or here in Norway, Skal vi danse. And yeah, we are knitting and crocheting socks until our hearts burst of happiness for that knit along. That's a very weird sentence. Thing number 2 that I finished are these. These are the Midnight mittens. This pattern is by Elizabeth, who hosts the Solopalooza Knits podcast and now has the Solopalooza designs on Ravelry. And I just absolutely love this mitten pattern. It is so freaking gorgeous. Can you handle that? This is her first mitten pattern. I've gushed about these in every single episode when I've talked about this. This cuff is a very standard Norwegian, old Norwegian cuff. But it's the first time I have knit one of those where it actually, there's no problem knitting this cuff on 4 needles because it's repetitive to 4. So I love that. I absolutely love that. This is a Christmas gift, so I will be wrapping these up pretty soon and shipping them away to their new owner for Christmas. And that is what I have finished. Coffee. It is only 8:30 in the morning. 8:41, sorry. The biggest, one of the biggest things I'm knitting on these days is my scrap yarn blanket that I restarted October 1st, and I am so excited about this compared to what I was with the first one that I made with this yarn. So at this point now, the first 8 or 9 squares were new to me yarns that I got in my second swap with Shauna from the Shauna Stitches podcast. Hello. And then I went on to knit more squares with yarn that I had received in swaps from her previously. And to do so, I had to rip back the entire previous blanket, which was 24 squares high, and I had gotten into 6 rows. So 24 times 6, putting that number here because my head and math are not friends. But this is what my blanket looks like now. I am happy to say that I have only, where are my, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 squares left until I have knit 100 squares for October. And because this is pre-recorded October 31st, I'm hoping that I will be finishing this blanket, this blanket's first 100 squares, that's a mouthful, for me anyway, by tomorrow night. I really want to say that I knit the first 100 squares during the month of October 2018. I'm loving how it's coming out. And then I'm, of course, knitting on a new pair of Strictly Come Dancing socks for the knit along. This time I'm using a sparkly sock base. Well, the main yarn is sparkly and the contrasting color is not. Anyway, they match very well together and they knit up so beautifully. But it's no shock because it's yarn from Little French Meadow. And this is It's a Disaster, Darling. And the main yarn looks like this. And the contrast color is just a very dark blue. But you see when you knit up, oh, this is, everything they do is just so beautiful. This is what it looks like right now. So, as you can see, the contrast matches very well with the sock. I knit a 2x2 rib. I just really prefer that rib. And this time I cast on 16 times 4 stitches, so 16 stitches to 4 needles, like so. And I just knit around on DPNs. I always use DPNs. And I mark every 20th round with a progress keeper because I knit 65 rounds for my socks before I start to decrease for the toes. And this is on 2mm needles from Zing, Knit Pro Zing, or Knitter's Pride, depending on where you live in the world. I love this pair, and I knit this from start to finish during the previous Saturday's show, which was the Halloween dance show, which I love. It's one of my favorite nights in our dancing show. And my favorite dancer pulled out of the show, which I am not happy about at all. The bag the socks are living in are a dodgy bag that Ali sewed me and gifted me for my birthday in 2017, so last year. Closing in on 2 years, wow. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, Ali, but I think it was for my birthday. And I love it. It's one of my favorite bags. There's nothing dodgy about it. Absolutely brilliant. I am knitting also on DK weight non-superwash socks for winter. I used to joke about that winter comes as a surprise to people here in Norway. Even though we have it every year, it seems that people get surprised by it when the snow actually falls. They have too high speed on their cars and they end up in the ditch. But this year, the joke's on me. Not because I drive a car, because I never had a driver's license, but I've said this since April this year. I need to remember to knit myself more pairs of DK non-superwash socks for winter, because superwash yarn doesn't keep you as warm. I am a very cold person, you know, physically. My heart's warm and all that. I love you. But especially where I live now, the house is cold and drafty, and just, yeah, to stay warm, you just, you know, you need non-superwash yarn on your body. So I'm working on that. However, I got to the party a little late, even though I've been telling myself ever since April, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you got plenty time. And even though June here was so cold, it could have snowed if any kind of, you know, downfall was to appear. It's actually snowing right now. Anyway, like I said, the joke's on me, because the first snow, the first frost came and I only had one pair. But I'm now knitting on my second pair. Same yarn, just a different colorway. The first pair is in the wash and will not be flaunted about on the camera here today. But for the first pair, I just did regular vanilla. But for the second pair, I am knitting a very regular Norwegian rough, thicker woolen socks. I like mine snug on the foot. A lot of people knit these a little looser to have them go over socks and wear them in winter shoes and boots and stuff. But I am knitting it quite tight. So this is 12 stitches times 4, so 48 stitches on needles 2.75. Again with the Zings, I just love the Zings. And the yarn recommends needles 3.5 to 4. The yarn is from Europris, and it's an amazing sock yarn. It's called Trysil. And Raggegarn, which is just our way of saying thicker socks yarn. It's colorway 605. They have several of these in different shades. They do not have an online shop. And they recommend wool wash 30 on the washing machine, because we have wool wash programs to wash our non-superwash garments in. It's 80% wool, 20% nylon, and 50 grams like this is approximately 100 meters. And the first sock is finished, and I'm almost down to... Maybe I should take it on the blocker. Take it on the blocker? That's a weird sentence. Throw the sock to the side. Keep the blocker. not the other way around. So when it comes onto the blocker, it looks like this. And this is very typical Norwegian woolen socks. This is what we call a raggesokk. They're also known as lasta, hosa. We have a saying in Norway, sweet child has many names. That's very directly and probably very wrong translated. Anyway, I love how it knits up. It's just something that calls to my heart, because I grew up with yarn that looks like this for thicker socks, and yeah. And again, with a slip stitch heel and a gusset decrease, just because that really just fits my foot the best, and well, I love it, and I can't wear to wait these socks. Right. I don't know why, but the camera shuts off after 10 minutes. Right. Good thing I have a flip-up screen so I can see and hear what it's doing. I have more to show you that I'm knitting on. Coffee. Oh no, I forgot to buy cocoa. So yeah, yesterday? No, not yesterday. Last year I knit, or was it in February? I think it actually was in February this year. I knit myself a little tin beanie by Amelia of Arctic Knitting Podcast and Arctic Yarns, who just also happens to be my best friend. An awesome human being, and if you haven't checked out her podcast, you should. I love this pattern so stinking much. But my head is of such a shape that beanies really don't fit me very well, especially saggy beanies. And this became big because I knitted according to the pattern, not thinking that if you do that, it will be saggy and baggy and all that jazz. So I have, earlier this summer, I purchased some Holst yarns. In their base Noble, which has 95% Geelong wool and 5% cashmere, so it's soft even before it's washed, and I do believe there's some spin oil in here as well, so it will plump up a lot more. I'm knitting a double rib for this. This is how far I've come. I really recommend this pattern. This is now being knit up on 2.5mm needles, the entire beanie. So what I'm doing here, I am now on the round where I am supposed to increase X amount of stitches to begin the collar work. Normally I would flip this double and pick up the stitches accordingly here and knit them together so I don't have to sew the rib close. But it is really snowing out there, oh my god. But I am not sure I want the inner part of the brim to be blue. It doesn't really show up on the camera, does it? And it will plump up when washed. Seeing it like that on the camera, ah, there you go. There you can see what I'm seeing. And it will fit, as you can tell, but I'm just going to replace those stitches. Hey. So I'm not going to knit this into the brim like that or sew it close until I'm done with the beanie, just in case I want to knit this part white. And if I come to that conclusion, I will just snip off the blue, pick up the stitches and knit that part the other direction. It's not going to be shown anyway because it's going to be on the inside. I am loving working with this yarn. This is my first time actually using Holst. I have a lot of Holst yarns in my stash now, and more coming actually. But I really do recommend this pattern. I think it's a 4-page pattern, and every information you need is just bang, bang, bang right there. And you just cast on knit and just zoom through the chart. And it's amazing. Amelia is a brilliant designer and podcaster. And a very good friend. Mwah. So that's the Lilli E. That was very northern, that was very central Norwegian dialect English right there. Wow. Anyway, last thing that I have to show you is a sweater. This is a keychain by Barbara from Knitting I Love. She makes these, well, she sells these in her shop, and it's Knitting I Love. She also has a wonderful podcast. In this bag that I sewed myself, this bag, wow, I'm all over the place today, again. This bag I sewed myself last year from fabric that I got from a viewer. And this bag I sewed sometime. And it holds my triple Dutch cardigan that I am knitting in Vilma by Permin. It is Danish by brand, and I think it says Italian yarn, made yarn. Sorry about that. 75% wool, 25% viscose. 50 grams is 120 meters. Now, I put one heck of a dent into this since you saw me last, which has been 2 weeks. This is how far I am now. And it turns out I have more yarn than I thought. So I will be making a, oh, that cable is showing up so beautifully. Look at that, beautiful. It goes down the back. And I have enough yarn to actually have this reach my hip before starting the rib. And then picking up for the button bands. However, it's quite fitted because I am working out to you know, improve my health and hopefully get a longer knitting life, and to lose weight that I've gained the last few years so that I can get back into my wardrobe. So I knit this, I cast this on, and I knit this thinking that I was going to, you know, fit in it sometime next year, preferably before my birthday in March. However, it's so prickly against my skin. I just and I am so bummed about this because I am just so in love with this pattern. It's a brilliantly written pattern. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous design with this double cable in the back and this fun looking cable in the front. Right down there. It's just gorgeous, and the yarn is gorgeous. It's a little tweedy, and I put it on and I instantly get the itch, and that doesn't really happen very often. So I don't know what is up with this yarn, why it's so scratchy, because when I do this, it's not that scratchy, but the second it touches my upper body, it's just So what I will do is put this aside a little bit and knit on it just a little here, a little there, and I will finish it. And hopefully when having reached my goal in getting back into my wardrobe, I will have a thin sweater that I can wear under that, because wow. And if that doesn't work, I will be knitting it again, just because this is one of those things that you really want in your wardrobe, and it's just absolutely amazing. I'm using 4.5 millimeter needles, I think. And I'm using Barbara from Knitting I Love's DPN pouch. As you can see, it matches in colors. So I'm loving knitting on it, just not loving wearing it. Not because of the pattern or the fit, because the fit is freaking amazing, but because of the itch of the yarn, which is not something I say very often, because I can handle Norwegian prickly wool, so what is up with this? I do not know. Okay, let's jump over to incoming goodies. So, I messaged Sarah from Saltbox Knits on YouTube and Sarah's Yarn on Instagram and asked her if she wanted to do a swap with me, because she always has so many wonderful things to say about me on her YouTube channel. She does more of a vlog style channel, and if you love that, you should definitely check out Sarah. She's wonderful. Not only is she a wonderful person, she's just kind, and yeah, she's upbeat and fun to watch. So I messaged her asking if she would like to do a swap with me, because she's knit, I don't know if she's finished it, but she's started to knit at least one of my mitten patterns. I do believe that she started the spooky Selby mittens that I designed. Please correct me down below if I'm wrong, Sarah. Anyway, I asked her if she would like to try some Norwegian yarns, you know, for knitting more mittens or beanies and stuff like that, and she said yes. And she also asked me if there was any American yarn that I would like her to send to me. And I said, yes, actually there is. If you've seen my Vlogtober, this is a total rerun for you. I had these two already in my stash. This is Hobby Lobby's I Love This Cotton yarn. I've had these for at least 2 years in my stash, and I was sent these by another American friend down in Texas. And I've planned to knit a Mr. and Mrs. Bakery Bear since I got these, but this is not enough. And I haven't gotten around to having I haven't gotten around to getting more yarn. That's what I'm trying to say here. And I don't think Hobby Lobby ships outside of US and Canada, which is why. So I told Sarah that I would love some I Love Cotton yarn. I Love This Cotton yarn, because I was planning to knit these Bakery Bears. And the Bakery Bears patterns are made by Kay of the Bakery Bears. Kay and Dan hosts the Bakery Bears podcast from the UK. I'm such a fan. I'm actually a Patreon of theirs. And I just absolutely love their podcast. And, well, show rather. They don't just podcast about knitting and crochet. They show you UK history. They take you around to different sites. And they bake with you. Bakery Bears. It's just absolutely wonderful, and I've been wanting to knit the two Bakery Bears ever since I saw the patterns. And so Sarah included some yarn. So this is the brown, and I will be knitting one of each, one female and one male. This is green and blue, very pale. Colors are coming out perfectly this time. Did not do that in in my other video, because that was recorded with the phone. This one. If you want to know the colorways, just please go check out my Vlogtober series, because I did go into detail. On the yarns there. And these three beauties. I just love these yarns. It is the softest yarns. Now I prefer my dishcloths and washcloths in thin yarn, just because they rinse out more easily, and they don't smell stinky right away, and they're easier to knit. But for toys, I love thicker yarn, I think. I haven't knit a toy since the first thing I ever knit was actually a snake for my baby brother when he was having surgery for his tonsils. Information you don't need, I know. But I was thinking that when I knit a toy, I want it to last. So I'm thinking thicker yarn is going to make for a sturdier toy, and it will make it bigger. Because I think the bakery bears are this high, but with this yarn I'm kind of kind of hoping it will be around this high. So we'll see. But I at least have quite a bit of yarn to get me going. Another order that I placed with my good friend Kimberly over at Kim Smith Happy. She sold mini sets from West Yorkshire Spinners to a very affordable price. So I grabbed 2 of these. Some of these are probably the same colors. Yeah, so, you know, I have for swaps, but I think they're, you know, pretty cool. Awesome to see that, you know, not hand-dyed yarn as well. Just, you know, for options for everyone. And then I grabbed the West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply new Christmas colorway. They also include a free pattern. This is it the Twinkle Lights? I think it's Twinkle Lights. I think it's Twinkle Lights. Anyway, this is what the colorway looks like. Totally out of my comfort zone when it comes to colors. But I think it will be a fun Christmas pair. And it comes with a free pattern. So, yay. And that's all. Nope, I'm lying. I forgot one. How could I forget? Wow. The last thing that I have to show you, I keep checking the time because I'm afraid the camera is going to shut on me. I need to check the settings for that. That's weird. I didn't realize I was ordering single ply. And I was like, no, why would I want to do that? Why? I got so blinded by the beauty of the colorway, and I want that. So I ordered it, not realizing that it was a single ply. I tend to not really gravitate to single ply, but I do plan on knitting a shawl with this, so it should be fine. I will either cast it on before Christmas or after Christmas. But so I was supposed to test knit for Amy of Amy's Little Kingdom. A wonderful, another Norwegian podcaster who podcasts in English, worth checking out. She designed the Lilli shawl. Now, if you're not familiar, this is the Lilli cardigan. And if it didn't show up, you know, just check out this picture or something. I knit this stupidly enough in superwash yarns, meaning that when it was finished and I used it for an hour, it sagged. And because it's superwash, the wool the wool qualities are gone, so it doesn't bounce back, it just stays sagged. And having used a silk mohair blend held a double with this yarn, which by the way is Moaning Myrtle colorway. It doesn't show up correctly because of the double with the mohair, but it's very saggy. See, it doesn't stay up at all. So I keep pulling on it and the point is, I love this pattern. This cable in the back is just, love it. I knit way too little cables compared to how much I love cables. So 2019, things are gonna change. And then she released a beanie and a cowl with this pattern. And now she, of course, has a shawl with this pattern. And I was supposed to test knit that, however, life got in the way. But I did purchase it when released. And this is the yarn I plan to use. Can you handle the beauty that is this yarn? Seriously. Imagine the cable you just saw in this yarn. The magnificent dyer behind this yarn is Millas Mikrofargeri hand-dyed yarn in Trondheim, which is in central Norway. But I will knit that shawl in this color. But the original idea was to do that with the tweed yarn. So I might just be going back to get the tweed yarn and do something else with this. And she gifted me a mini in there. Doesn't have a colorway name, so if you're watching, drop me a comment down below letting me and everybody watching what colorway this is, because it is beautiful. Right, that is it for today. I say that's it, and it's quite a lot. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Before you leave, make sure to press that record button. Press that subscribe button. Vlog-ember will happen, Vlogmas will happen just a month away, and I will, you know, hopefully see you back here for the next video, the next podcast, whatever suits you. And you know, leave me a fancy schmancy fun upbeat comment down below. I love interacting with you, and I hope to see you back here for the next podcast, the next vlog, and everything else fun that's going on this channel. Until the next time we talk to each other like this, I hope that you are having a wonderful time, a crafty time. Join the Facebook group. We would love to have you. It's a wonderful community. And if you knit anything from my pattern library or use my progress keepers, make sure you tag me in the picture on Instagram. You do that on the same page where you write the picture text. You just write the picture text, and right down below that you have several options, and one of them says tag. And if you do that, I get a notification on my actual profile. If you just tag me in the picture text, it comes up as a notification, just, you know, amongst everything else, and I might actually miss it. So I would love to see what you're knitting on, and how you're liking your progress keepers and stitch markers that you grabbed from me, because a lot of you did, and I know that you will be using it, because I have had a lot of messages telling me you loved it. So I just want to see it used. It's most of the fun. So I'm just gonna stop rambling now, and hopefully I will see you back here next time I upload a video. And yeah, just, you know, tell the ones you love that you love them, spread love, spread joy, and have fun. And I will see you again very soon. Bye! It just ruled. Professional. Right. Hello. Focus, focus, hello!
What's your name, monster? Interesting.